Hello, my name is Charles Colaw with Colaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company or, navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Colaw with Colaw Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Colaw. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things we picked up when we picked up the Thrive 15 team was an entire team. You want an SEO guy that knows things about search engine optimization? Got it. You got a website guy that's built big websites like Garth Brooks' website? Awesome, we have it. He's coming in. If I had to pay for that on my own, outside of Thrive 15, there's just no way. For us, one of our most immediate needs when I got connected with Clay was technology. We had a website, but I had a website in Tulsa. Our other partner had a website in Colorado. And they did everything from doing a drone video where they flew over all of our markets with a drone. They integrated that into our site. They built every single thing that I think of, they do. We do a podcast. If I was gonna produce my own podcast, that alone, just that alone, would be what I pay Thrive, just for that. But then if you add the fact that if I need a business card design, if I need a website build, if I need this, if I need that, I know what I would pay for that if I had to go a la carte. I feel guilty sometimes, like I don't probably write a big enough check for the value that I get. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs that have ideas what they want to do with their business and how they want to grow and what market they want to be in and how they can increase production and do all this. But it's not about having 4,000 ideas. It's about having 12 and executing them 4,000 times. That's the trick, in my opinion, and that's where Thrive's value comes in. I feel like I have my own staff, my own 20-person team that when I need something, I just go to them and it happens.
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, I want to talk about why idea hopping could be success stopping. What? Why idea hopping could be success stopping, or to maybe phrase it another way. You don't want to multiply until you're fruitful. So be fruitful, then multiply. And what I find is a lot of people will get an idea and they'll get excited about that idea and they'll follow that idea for about a month or two. And then before they have success, they move on to the next idea. And they start to, in their mind, mentally, they start to mentally redefine success as just launching a new idea. But in terms of making a profitable company, it never happens because they can never focus on one idea long enough to ever have success. It would be like planting the garden, sowing the seeds, watering it for a week or two, and then disappearing and forgetting to tend that garden. And so on today's show, I want to talk about this idea, why idea hopping could be, in fact, dream killing and success stopping. Peter Taunton, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good, brother. How are you doing? Good to be here.
I'm excited to talk to you about this because you're a guy who, if you look at your career, you might say, wow, Peter's, hopped from idea to idea to idea. But if you took a time out and said, yeah, but how long did Peter Taunton obsess on that idea and focus on that idea before that idea was successful? How long did he obsess on scaling the company before he moved on to the new idea? And I want to get your thoughts on that because people look at you now as a serial entrepreneur, but I don't think people realize how long it took you to build SnapFitness and to grow it into what it became and then to launch these other brands.
Right. Well, first of all, to your initial point, Clay, the risk of jumping from idea to idea, and I deal with a lot of clients in my consulting biz that they're scattered and that's always a slippery slope. And, some days you're almost like a dog chasing your tail. You don't get anything done because you're always a fear of missing opportunities. So I tell people, look, you know what, you got to have a process on when you're evaluating business. There's got to be 2 or 3 boxes that you have to check straight away before you take it any further. And sometimes people get so far down the rabbit hole that they feel so committed to it, and it could potentially be a bad idea. So, number one, stay focused on what it has. But number two, first of all, make sure that the business is relevant. Okay, that it's relevant in the eyes of the consumer, not your pet project, but relevant in the eyes of the consumer. Number one. Number two, that you can repeat it. In other words, it's scalable. Okay, very important, because there's a lot of businesses, they may be good, they may be successful, but they're not scalable. Why? Because they're too technical. Okay, and then number three, how broad can your audience be? Now, obviously, I'm talking about coming at things from a franchise perspective, because I want things to be affordable. The more affordable the business can be, the broader my audience is who can potentially participate in. So look, stay focused, stay relevant. And then once you identify what it is, then that's when you got to step on the gas and hustle and dig in, just like you and I do.
Now, I want to go back to you on this. I really want to tap into your wisdom on this, because there's somebody out there listening to this show right now, and they're like, I want to team up with Peter Taunton because I have a used car dealership, and I think Peter would be helpful to help me grow that. Or someone else is saying, I want to team up with Peter because I went into one of his stores. I bought a nautical bull. I loved it. My sister used to work out at the SnapFitness, and I feel like I've seen a lot of his success. So I want to team up with him to flip houses. You know, there's somebody out there that looks at you and they say, I want to team up with you. So what's your filter that you actually, at this point in your life, what are some of the boxes that you check before you even take time needed to evaluate the deal?
Well, look, given my background, and I'll bet you're the same way without even asking, but given my background growing up, very, very humble beginnings, I feel somewhat indebted. I think that I owe it to society to give back. So when I get some people that approach me that don't have the financial means to afford me, I don't say no. In fact, I embrace them and I give them my time because, look, I love chatting with inspired entrepreneurs that have got the fire in their belly. They may lack the capital. So anything I can do to help them find their way, I do it. The other side of it, in my real business, my consulting business, it's typically companies. And I'll give anyone a couple of days. Look, I'm expensive, but here's the reality. After a couple of days of my time, I'm going to make a decision. And the decision is, look, I like what you're doing and I think I can help you. But in order for me to help you, I take equity in the company. That's the only way I do it. Hey, look, it's not for everyone, Clay. But for me, I got to have equity in the company. Why? Because I think I can make 1 + 1 = 3. And in that case, I want to be rewarded for my efforts. And I've done it time and time again. And I've done it in real estate. I worked with a company, they were doing about $1 million in EBITDA. In 3 years, I took their $1 million in EBITDA. Now it's $4 million in EBITDA. Think about that. So what happens? Now the founder wants to sell his business. Okay. Now in that scenario, I took a percentage of his business. And my return on that work is going to be a 7-figure return. Now he may say, man, that's a lot of money for such a short period of time. But I said, no, you're thinking about it all wrong, because you wouldn't be where you are today without my knowledge. It's that simple. So once again, not for everyone.
And again, I just want to get into, I want to just really obsess on this idea of obsessing on an idea. So what I see a lot is people will look at me and they'll say, Clay, man, I saw your interview recently with Robert Kiyosaki. I love that interview. I'm getting people all over the place texting me, emailing me, going, hey, I saw you on Kiyosaki the other day. Great job. And so I ran into a guy, and I won't mention his name. I'll keep it very vague, but he said to me, hey, could you get me on Kiyosaki? And I said, what now? He said, could you get me on Kiyosaki? I kind of do entrepreneurial work too, and I'd love to get on Kiyosaki. And I said, there's 3 things you need to understand. And I said, I'll try to make this educational for you. There's 3. I want to be very educational. One, step 1 in business, if there's 3 steps to success. 1, you've got to have a practical education. So you got to be able to do something. Second, you have to have a reputation for having done it consistently over time. Third, that's when you get the compensation. And you're somebody who just learned a practical skill that you're claiming you can do. You have that practical education, but you don't have any reputation for having done it. So there's no way that that I would introduce you to Robert Kiyosaki, and there's no way that he would want to interview you given where you're at right now. Now, if you want to go have success, I recommend that you take your theoretical business idea that you're pondering and you go work out the kinks, work it out, refine the workflow, do it on a small level, try to nail it, then scale it. But you don't want to, you got to make because he has this idea, Peter, that he's developed, and he thinks it will work. And he wants to hop on the, podcasts and talk about his new financial system that's going to help you use technology to stay on top of your books and have a better understanding of where you're at financially. And I said, that's a great idea, but I can't, you can't skip ahead a step. I'd love to get your idea, your reaction to that, or your thoughts on this idea of, you get the practical education, yes, but you got to build that reputation. And then you can start talking about the compensation, because the compensation that you have received in that last story you just shared is based upon your practical education and your reputation. And that's what allowed you to get that client to that level. But if you didn't have that reputation or the practical education, it wouldn't work.
No, it's very true. And you know what, Clay, you gave him some great advice, and you gave him the truth. And sometimes the truth is not what people want to hear. Look, I know a lot of people out there that are book smart, but they don't have the hands-on, they don't have the road rash that it takes to succeed. And once again, there's a big difference between talking about it and doing it. And because the inherent education, that road rash of firsthand experience, it's invaluable. And what you learn when you're in the fire, rather than hearing about somebody in the fire, those moments are very impressionable, and you learn from them. And hopefully you're paying attention. You don't repeat mistakes. You're not afraid of making mistakes. You don't overextend yourself. But look, at the end of the day, having a plan, creating a plan of trajectory, but most importantly, execution. You got to show that you've done it. And look, for some people out there, you may have been involved in several businesses and some of them not so successful. Look, that's part of the game too. Don't be embarrassed about your failures, because look, there's a lot of people out there. They sit at the plate with the bat in their hand with no intention of swinging. Okay, get out there, take your cuts. Sometimes you're going to get a single, a double. God willing, you're going to get a grand slam, and sometimes you're going to strike out. That's the life of an entrepreneur. Embrace it. Don't take it to heart. Don't let it keep you up at night. That's why being an entrepreneur, it's not for everyone. It's not for the faint of heart.
Now, I want to tap into your wisdom about the fitness business specifically. For whatever reason, I've coached a lot of fitness businesses, a lot of them. And what I find, and the clients I've worked with have been big box gyms, or they've been personal training. And so the personal training, this is just a mentor session I just gave to a client a few weeks ago, and we've helped him scale. But basically, what we're finding in the personal training space is that the customer finds the website because they're top in Google, or they find an ad. They go to the site. They look at the before and after photos of people that maybe used to be overweight. Now they're in great shape. They look at the before and after photos. They look for the no-brainer offer. They fill out the form. They fill out the form because they want to request information. A member of the call team calls them and schedules their first session for free, or their first session for $1, or their first month for $50, or some sort of offer that makes sense. And at that point, the client that wants to get in shape in the personal training space, what they want to do is they want to say, hey, every Monday at 5, I want to work out. Every Wednesday at 5, I want to work out. And every Friday at 5, I want to work out. Or they'll say, the client says, I want to work out every Monday morning at 5 a.m., every Wednesday morning at 5 a.m., and every Friday at 5 a.m. But the point is, the client, they want consistency. They just want to put it in their schedule and say, I'm going to do legs and abs on Monday, and I'm going to do chest and triceps on Wednesday, and I'm going to do cardio or something. They want a consistent schedule that they can adhere to, because that's why they're looking for a personal trainer. They clearly know the nutritional education. They clearly know some of the fitness education, but they want a personal trainer because they want that accountability mixed with the nutritional and fitness education. And this particular client, for years and years before he met me, he was doing a thing where, Peter, if the trainer that you were scheduled to work out with couldn't make it in that day, he would call you at 4 a.m. or 4:45 and say, Peter, unfortunately, the trainer can't make it today. Do you want to reschedule? And it only takes like one time of that happening or two before the client says, forget it. And so the big epiphany for this client is I helped him discover the idea that just doesn't matter what trainer is going to be there. You just got to be consistent, and that the client they know they can show up at 5 a.m. on Monday, 5 a.m. on Wednesday, 5 a.m. on Friday, and find a friendly face that knows what they're talking about. And then whatever HR Tetris you have to play behind the scenes, that can happen in the background. But the client doesn't want inconsistency. I'd love to get your thoughts on this idea of consistency, because this trainer, for years, you'd look at his tracking sheet, Peter, and his sales would go up, they'd go down, they'd go up, they'd go down. And it was just all about scheduling and trainers canceling. But now that we've got into a flow where people are dependent, they're committed to the system and not to the specific trainer. It's working, it's scaling, and it's great. Could you talk about just the consistency component, maybe in the fitness world, and then maybe how you're incorporating consistency into nautical bowls?
Well, look, in what you're talking about in the fitness space, and I've got a lot of experience in that area that you're talking about. And I try to convince these small boutique shops that are trying to get into the personal training business to quit pairing a specific individual with a client. Pay more attention to the trainers that you're bringing in. Look for a specific profile and similarities. They all understand the importance of the guest experience, because from the guest shoes, here's what they want. They want something that's predictable, meaning I'm not going to get that call at 4 a.m. that you just described. I know that I can drag myself out of bed, be there at 5 a.m. And as long as I've got my laces tight and my gym clothes on, I'm going to be there at 5. I need somebody that's going to run me through the workout. Now, if I've got consistency in my trainer profile, it's not going to matter who's in front of me. And you got to make sure that you identify what are the points of that are critical from a trainer's perspective. Well, it starts with, somebody that's got some passion. Okay. They're not, we know it's 5 a.m. We know that your client is tired. Look, you got to bring the energy. Okay. You got to bring the energy. You got to be firing up. You got to be motivational, right? And you got to be knowledgeable. So that, I think, is the key if you're going to be in the personal training business. So, don't identify a specific trainer. I don't want somebody coming in every time saying, hey, I only want Joe. I got to be able to say, look, that's not how this works here, because every one of our trainers are very, very qualified. And if you ever have a bad experience, you let me know and I'll comp it for you. That is putting your money where your mouth is.
There it is.
Okay. You got it.
The thing is, you get it. So I love talking to you because you get it. But again, if it was a mentor session, imagine you're meeting with this young guy. In this particular case, this guy, give you a profile. He's incredibly physically fit. He's got a business. He's got multiple locations. And for years, this guy was having people cancel. And I'm going, hey, I've only, I'm just telling you how it is. People that sign up for a personal trainer, they want a consistent time and they want the consistent kind of training. As you mentioned, trainer profile. They want a consistent experience. And he kept saying, yeah, but most people say that they would rather have the same trainer every time. Or most people I've talked to in the fitness space say that customers would prefer to have the same trainer at every session. And I said, I know that's ideal, that's utopia, but we don't live in the ideal utopia. We live in the real world where we have to deliver real results. So the best compromise, the best pragmatic solution is to guarantee the client a great experience at the same time. I'd love to get your thoughts on that, because I see a lot of entrepreneurs that die on the hill of idealism.
Look, the customer, Clay, has been conditioned. They've been conditioned because, oh yeah, I've had the same trainer for 6-7 years. Look, I get it. Here's the reality. How many times have you seen somebody working with a trainer and it's almost like a talk session? It's almost like it's just somebody to interact with. They're not pushing, they're not working hard. To me, some of the most successful training boutique centers that I've seen, they said, look, our brand is our people. Okay. We're not strong as one, we're strong as a team. Everyone on this team is equally knowledgeable, equally as professional. And at the head of the spear, you can't compromise the trainer profile. Okay. You got to make sure that everyone gets it, that before you put them on the front line that's going to work with your clients, that they know that they're going to get a great trainer that's going to be knowledgeable, and that you've got a system in place where you're tracking what exactly the guest is looking for. What exactly do they want to accomplish? I can tell you this. I roll my eyes sometimes when I go into, I'm not going to name gyms, but some of the gyms that I go into Miami here, and they've got a 45-year-old man over there doing deadlifts. Okay. As an example, he's not playing football. He's not a bodybuilder. There's absolutely no reason that guy should be doing deadlifts. And then he's wondering, one day you see him, he's got a bad back. Look, there's so many different things that you could have done to exercise those same muscles in a much safer capacity.
Right.
So once again, some of these diehard weight trainers, they're old school, heavy squats, deadlifts. Look, you got to look at the profile of your guest.
Yep.
And make sure that you're not going to injure them. Give them the results without giving them the injuries, and it can be done.
And just to be clear, I have notes here I'm taking. I was make sure all listeners know this. I mean, when we talk about the wisdom you have here, I mean, you've built SnapFitness, you've built 9Round, you built Fitness on Demand, you're building Nautical Bowls. How many locations of SnapFitness did you open?
Well, look, across all of my fitness brands, I mean, at one time I had close to 4,000 or more in 28 countries, right? So look, but that space today, it's a very competitive space.
Yep.
It's okay. Businesses evolve, right? The fitness space has evolved. You know what? When I started, it's much different. Today, you can go rent a garage, put some equipment in there. You're in business. You're competing. So there's a lot of people out there that have aspired to be personal trainers and get into the fitness space. They have these little boutique shops. It's great. They can generate a great culture, a great little community that they're serving. I love it. You know what? The fitness space, it's a hard space to make $1 today. You got to really work hard at it. It's much different than it was back in the day when I was running it.
I love it. Now I'm going to switch gears here, get into your newest brand, which isn't a new brand for you. You've been working on this for a long time, but it's the newest brand. You have a company here called Nautical Bowls. Now, Nautical Bowls, for anybody out there that does not know, it's a meal replacement. It's a healthy on-the-go meal replacement. That's what Nautical Bowls is. And so what's happening is this brand is on trend right now, and it's not a fad though. A fad is something that comes in for 6 months or 7 months and disappears. But a trend is where's the market going? This isn't a fad. This is a trend. And Nautical Bowls is a trend where more and more Americans are wanting to eat well, eat healthy. More and more Americans are busier and busier. Kids, whether you agree with me or not on this, folks, I would say kids today are more overscheduled than ever before. A lot of kids have to go to soccer practice, and then their sister has to go to ballet, and their other brother has to go to gymnastics, and the other sisters in soccer. And so people are looking for a healthy meal to eat on the way. There's just a lot of busy families. And so Nautical Bowls is a solution to that. Peter, tell us here, how much does it cost to own a Nautical Bowls franchise, and maybe who would be a good fit? So how much does it cost, and who would be a good fit to buy a Nautical Bowls franchise?
Generally speaking, rough and tough, it's about 350,000 all in, which includes everything. To qualify, we have financing. Most of the people come to the table with 100,000 cash, and then they finance the balance. We have financing available for them. They'll finance it up to 10 years with no penalty for early payoff. So we make it very easy for people to get into business. That's number one. Number two, the reason I got excited about this concept was the relevance of it. To your point, Clay, people are on the go. They're looking for something. Our product, think about it. Plant-based, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, made with organic or all natural ingredients. So it's a bowl of goodness. It's a bowl of antioxidants. It's a meal replacement. It's not dessert. People have it for breakfast, mid-morning, lunch, mid-afternoon snack. Some people have it for dinner, okay? You're not going to go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and then go to Nautical Bowls for a dessert. That's not who we are. So I love that it's a small footprint, one full-time employee, very relevant. In today, most people, if we stopped 100 random people on the road, Clay, and we asked them, do you think it makes sense to eat sensibly and move your feet? Most people would not argue with that proposition. You know, people know that being active is a good thing, and having a sensibility of what you're putting in your mouth pays dividends as well. So I love the space. It was not a stretch for me transitioning from the fitness space to the healthy eating. And to your point, you know what? Acai bowls, acai concepts, it's the number one category in the healthy, fast, casual category. Acai bowl businesses are number one. And we have a great product. In my opinion, we have the best product on the market.
And again, if I want to get involved in buying a franchise, a lot of people haven't thought about this. I'm just going to try to make it clear, and feel free to disagree with me here. If you want to buy a house today, okay, one of my longtime clients called Shaw Homes, on part 2 of today's show, you're going to see a testimonial. These guys, I've helped them to grow their business now from one location to, from $15 million a year, operating primarily in a few key neighborhoods, to now $160 million of annual revenue. So Shaw Homes has really grown. And if you go and buy a new home, one of the things we had to do at Shaw Homes, and I'll just give people an example, is we had to let people know that it's super affordable. It's super turnkey. It's affordable. It's doable. It's not a complicated idea to buy a new house. People have their idea, this big phobia that, wow, buying a new house is something I can't ever do. I never thought about it. And we had to dumb it down, systemize it, and make it more approachable. And we had to tell people, look, you can buy a house, and all you got to do is apply right now, and we'll get you pre-qualified. Next thing you know, you're choosing the lot. You're choosing the neighborhood. Your design. We have a whole workflow. It's a whole map, like a workflow path. You can actually see a visual path that we coach the client down, almost like they're playing a board game. And we're going from, $15-16 million a year of sales to $160 million a year. And we found the biggest issue was most people didn't know that they could do it. They just thought it was a big, complicated idea that only a super rich elite group of people got to do. And we found that a lot of first-time home buyers, once they understood, hey, we'll help you get the financing, we'll help you find the right lot, we'll help you design the house. So I think somebody out there thinks that owning a business is a big, complicated idea. So I'd love to get your thoughts in closing here. What are those steps 1, 2, 3 that someone needs to take if they're looking into buying a Nautical Bowls franchise?
First step, honestly, just on the upper right there, with that franchise button, you click on that, you fill out a very brief profile questionnaire, and then one of our team will give you a call and literally walk you through the process. And what we get you qualified to make sure that you financially qualify for the business. But most importantly, we explain the business so you know exactly what it is that you're getting into. We're not here to sell you something. We award opportunities, and we want to make sure that you're a good profile fit for what this business calls for. But it's a great business. It's a lot of fun. It's work, but it's a lot of fun in a good space.
Peter Taunton, I really do appreciate you carving out time for us today. Again, folks, that's nauticalbulls.com. Peter, you're a great American. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Take care, Clay. See you next week.
Hey, Peter, before I let you go, I'm going to turn a recording off. Just had a quick question for you.
My name is Joe Lai, and I'm with Kirkpatrick & Lai Orthodontics. At Kirkpatrick & Lai Orthodontics, we create beautiful smiles by straightening kids' teeth and adults' teeth. The services that Clay and his team provide would be something like how to get more customers into my business and get the message out that I'm the best orthodontist in Tulsa. He does that by social media. We get the word out through videos and pictures and being just top mind awareness, as he would always say. Also, how to reach out and create that bond with my referring doctors. He helped me kind of get somebody in-house to go out and meet doctors and help me kind of continue building that relationship while I do the work. Website. The website's so majorly important. We get several patients through our website. And what he's doing is there's a certain way that you want your website to look and certain content because you want call to action items in your website. And we didn't have that before. So now we get 7 or 8 new patients just through the website alone. Clay and his team I would just say they're over the top. I mean, nothing is too big, nothing's too grand for Clay and his staff and his team. I mean, he says boom, he really means it. I mean, they over deliver, really, to be honest with you. And they come up with ideas that are just top notch. And if you don't like something, great, move on. He'll figure out something that works for your style and your identity. But I would just say the biggest thing for Clay and his team is they over-deliver. Clay and his team help kind of create that culture also for your business that, hey, we got to get things done in a timely manner. It holds me accountable to do the certain tasks so that we can create things in a timely manner. So there is a sense of urgency that he creates, and it's a lot of it's just through his enthusiasm. He's always on the go, so it kind of puts you on that same mindset of, hey, let's get this done, let's work hard, but let's also have fun with it. When I went to orthodontic school, we got 0 training on marketing. Actually, when I got out of school 18 years ago, it was kind of taboo to actually do any marketing. The most you could do is put your name in the Yellow Pages. And so now it's pretty common knowledge and pretty mainstream to go ahead and get your name out there, tell everybody your story, who you are, what you're about. If you don't do that, it's a leg of your business that you're lagging behind. Because you could be the best orthodontist or the best whatever, but if people don't know that, then you won't get the customers coming in. I meet with Clay and his team on every Friday about 11 o'clock, and to be honest with you, at the beginning I wasn't that thrilled with it. Coming in every week just kind of seemed like a lot, but for me, I find the marketing aspect interesting. I enjoy it. I love working with Clay. I think it's mainly the reason why. I've kind of built a relationship with him. I think it got to a level now where we're pretty good friends. And so to me, it's enjoyable. I really enjoy the creativity and how when you put the energy into it and the work into it, how you get everything kind of comes back and it works. I've worked with Clay and his team for about, I think it's about 3 years, and every year it's just gotten better and things have grown more every year. I've been trying to get my wife and her pediatric dentist office and our partners on board with Clay for a while. I just saw that they were kind of getting stagnant in their practice, and times were kind of getting slow for them, and they needed more referrals. And I knew that Clay could definitely help them out by even just one thing, which would be change your website. And just by doing that, you're going to get patients very easily. But another thing too is that they needed to change their culture and their mindset of how to bring in patients, and creating a brand as well for them, and giving them more of an identity, so the whole staff could kind of rally around that. For anybody that's coming out of school or just starting new with a business of any sort, be it medical or anything of that nature, I highly recommend Clay helping you create that business model. We're trained to do what we're trained to do, but we're not trained to do the business aspect or the marketing or how to deal with the patient or our staff. So Clay can pretty much do all that. But what I like the most about Clay and his staff is that everything's in-house. I don't have to go to one place to do my website. I don't have to go somewhere to do my videos. I don't have to go another place to shoot photographs, somewhere else to do web content or team coaching or entrepreneurship. Clay pretty much is the total package. He's really a great mentor. So if you're new and starting a business and you want to avoid all the pitfalls, I would definitely hook up with Clay and his team. If someone's not using Clay and his team to help build their business, they're missing out on a lot. There's so many details and so many aspects of creating a business that Clay really makes it simple, makes it fun, and you learn so much in a short amount of time that I think he's the best entrepreneur, business coach, marketer, you name it. The guy's and his team's got it all going on.
Hello, my name is Charles Colaw with Colaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I've found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because The results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D. Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships. But one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things, the processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
The Thrivetime Show, 2-day interactive business workshops, are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot-coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.